King Kong ain't got nothing on me. I liked it better when he said that in the trailer than what he actually said in the movie, by the way. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. It's really good to see you, really good to have you in. Come on in, sit down, take a load off, relax, make yourself a bologna sandwich, and watch me open up a box. I think I know what's in this box. I've actually got two orders out with PS Publishing where is PS Publishing? It is in Grosvenor House, Hornsey, East Riding of Yorkshire, United Kingdom. So that's kind of a cool place. Sounds cool anyway. Never been there, but it sounds cool. Got two orders out. One is a book called Kong, and it is a screenplay, and it's called Kong, the Original Screenplay. Makes sense, by Edgar Wallace. And Edgar Wallace was a fellow that was writing the screenplay for the movie King Kong, 1933. But he died before completing it. So the movie came out in 33. I believe Edgar Wallace died in 1932, something like that. And P.S. talks a little bit about that, and so does the book. Talks a little bit about how his contributions had always been downplayed. But here is the original screenplay along with a lot of other stuff. And I'm told that it is very familiar to the book, so that a lot of the things, the concepts that he wrote and came up with ended up in the movie. Here it is. I saw that PS Publishing was releasing this book, a hardcover, but also a signed limited slipcase version, limited to 100 copies, signed by several people, including the editor, Stephen Jones, not Stephen Graham Jones, as well as one of the artists, Bob Eggleton. And Bob Eggleton has done artwork for several books that I have in my collection, and I have liked them all. But for some reason, when I was reading about this book coming out, I just couldn't resist. I had to buy it. I'm a big fan of King Kong. I'm a fan of a lot of things. I dig both Kong and Godzilla. Get them glasses straight. I dig them both. Got a lot of sentimentality towards them. And I think I don't have a favorite, so I'm not a Kong or a Godzilla guy. I like that kind of stuff. I also like Star Wars and Star Trek. Don't hate me. You hate me if you want to. Anyway, but I can like a lot of things. I don't have to like one or the other. I think things are better when you don't always have to pick a team and hate the other side. I think it's good to be able to recognize the good in all things, when there is good in all things. But anyway, I think that's what I'm opening here today, because I also ordered Stephen King Different Seasons, but I'm assuming that if that was shipping, it would have been big news and everybody would be talking about it. So that being said, let me open this thing up and see if I just wasted a lot of time talking about Kong or if it was due. Let me get it open here. This, cut away from your hand, cut away from your body. This is well packed, but this tape doesn't like to cut. Tears better than it cuts. Let's see. So it's in a box, oversized box, wrapped with a lot of paper, and then it's wrapped in this thick, can you see that? This thick textured paper here. So it ought to be good. The folks in the postal system really took care of it. It didn't get beaten up, busted up, anything like that, coming directly from the United Kingdom. And let's see, let's get it out and see what it looks like. I'm standing here looking at a bubble wrap thing, but it looks good. Get it out of the bubble wrap, and let's open it up and take a look and see what's in here. And like I said, I'm a fan of King Kong, so when I saw that they had such a thing coming out, I had to jump in and buy it, and then kind of ask questions later. With only 100 copies, I didn't want to get left out. And I love what PS Publishing does. Caveat being, when you buy PS Publishing books, don't expect that you're going to get high-end materials, because you're buying books usually for medium range pricing. Don't expect high-end stuff, but what you will need to expect is they are usually beautiful, excellent, unbelievable books. And there's our good friend Edgar Wallace, who I've never even met. There's a big span of years between his end and my beginning. And there's the spine of the book, what it looks like on the shelf. So materials, their slip cases are usually, I don't know how to describe it, but thin. They're not extremely thick or fat or built with heavy duty materials, but they look nice. And before I do anything else, look at the back of that slip case. So there's a lot of folks out there that like to put their books on the shelves the wrong way. And PS Publishing has really made this one nice for those people. In fact, it probably looks better on the shelf the wrong way than it does the right way. So I'll have to see. One thing I want to check, this is an oversized book. It's tall, and it doesn't fit on my shortest shelves. My shelves are different. I've got a couple that are tall, and a couple, the rest are all short, so it won't fit there. So this design is going to force me to put it on particular shelves, which I don't like. I want to be the man in charge when it comes to my shelves, but way it goes. A lot of people love these oversized books, and publishers print them. Some of the great ones have printed some very tall books, and they do look neat. Just how your shelves fit sometimes is affected. But let me take off this slipcase. It's snug, kind of snug. Let me set it down. Nice slipcase, looks beautiful, and show you this book here. So I think, here's what I think I know. Bob Eggleton did some of the artwork here, did the front dust jacket illustration. There are a bunch of artists listed on the website for this book. It doesn't necessarily say who did what. Maybe it's credited in the book, but I love the front of that slipcase. Man, it looks good. And here is the front of the dust jacket, and then the back again. But one thing I noticed right off the bat, sticking out of the top, some fuzzy stuff. We'll have to see what that is. And our binding, it is a glued binding, and I think that would be typical from PS Publishing these days as opposed to a sewn binding. But I want to pull this thing out because included is a bonus, get that out of the way, a bonus bookmark. It looks great. Artwork front and back, different artwork, and then you got the little ribbon that sticks out the top. Very neat, and a neat addition to what I'm getting here. Let me take off this dust jacket and show you this book, because another thing that is typical to PS Publishing, when you take off that dust jacket, look here. I don't know if they call this case laminate or what it is, but library binding, I don't know, whatever they call it, but it's a shiny artwork on the cover, and it looks great. So that's what I said up front. It's not the high-end materials like a cloth binding or a leather or something like that, Japanese silk, but it looks great. And so for me, that's awesome too. I can love, one, the highest quality, expensive materials, and I can also love more economically priced materials, but beautiful stuff. So that's what attracted me to PS Publishing long ago, was I just noticed that their stuff often looked great. And there you go. So that's that. And this one is Hilton. What does that say? Nope. A Bob Eggleton artwork on the front of the book also. Man, that looks good. I love that. I think that looks better than the dust jacket cover almost. What do you think? So for me, it's between this and the slipcase itself. I almost like this one the best. Looks great. They all look good. Some excellent artwork in here. And being a Kong fan, a limited edition with all this cool looking stuff, and I just had to jump on it. I don't know. I couldn't resist. So it is signed by Stephen Jones. Edgar Wallace has a facsimile signature, and then signed by artist Bob Eggleton. But like I said, there's artwork in here from a lot of different people. And this signature page, here's the signature page. I'll show you that. But one thing I noticed, the signature page doesn't quite fit. See, it's a little bit shorter on top and a little bit shorter on bottom, just slightly smaller than the other pages. This one is copy number 84. There are only 100 limited edition copies. There's also a trade edition, which was cheaper, and I don't think it comes with a slipcase, and I really don't know the difference between the two, but I naturally wanted the limited edition version if I could get it. And there it credits a lot of the artwork So you can see that and see who all is in here. It doesn't specify, at least on that page, who did what. But I'm sure in here it does. Front cover in original artwork, copyright Bob Eggleton. Back cover Edgar Wallace by Leslie G. Harris. A Stephen Jones book for PS Publishing. Now our contents. So I said this includes the original screenplay written by Edgar Wallace. It also has Stephen Jones, Edgar Wallace, the man who created Kong. So it talks a lot about, sort of a biography, talks a lot about Edgar Wallace himself. I'm sure it talks about the process of writing and similarities and differences. It includes the Kong, an original screenplay by Edgar Wallace, King Kong, a boys magazine story. So that's our contents for the book. And there is already lots and lots of artwork in here. All sorts. I mean, it just doesn't stop. Look at there. The present script of Kong, as far as I can remember, hasn't one single idea suggested by Edgar Wallace, by Marianne C. Cooper, July 20th of 1932. So that's a claim. I reckon that was made. But from what I understand, this original screenplay is very, very familiar to movie fans. And a lot of the stuff in here ended up in the movie. So Edgar wasn't really credited for his work, is the way I understand. And a lot of the credit was given or taken. And throughout here, there's all sorts of artwork. I won't be able to show you it all because there is so much. But just look at there. What else is in here? What else? Lots and lots. Won't be able to show you it all, but I'm excited to be able to get this book. I'm excited to add it to my collection. As a Kong fan, as a fan of great stuff, history, artwork, and such as that, I'm glad to be able to get my hands on it. I don't know how hard it was to come by this original screenplay here, but I get the impression that it has not been available up until now. And maybe I'm wrong, but they sold me. All I had to do was read a little bit about it, and they sold me. So much artwork in here. Photographs, stills, sketches. Just so much stuff included. And there's no way I'm going to show you it all to you. So there's an example of our screenplay and what it's going to look like there. What else can I find? Just so much stuff. Really is cool. Excellent stuff here. Wow, that looks good. And I don't know who did all of this artwork. There's a lot of artists that are credited for the artwork in here. And just so much cool stuff. So much neat stuff. You could spend a long, long time thumbing through these pages here to see what is included. I'm excited. I'm happy that I got it. I can't wait to spend a little time checking it out, getting to know the story. And then I need to go back and watch the movie. I've got the DVD sitting right over there. Again, I grew up with this kind of stuff. My mom was a big fan of what she would call monster movies. She liked monster movies. She liked horror, but she liked the monsters. She didn't like me to see anything that included people, murderers, serial killers, and things like that, because that stuff was real. It could really happen. But a giant ape rampaging in New York City and fighting dinosaur-like creatures on islands and holding a girl in his hand while he climbs the Empire State Building and getting shot by fighter pilots, to her didn't qualify as something to be afraid of, because it just isn't likely to happen. And that was the logic that she used. So I grew up with all sorts of monster movies, and so they're dear to me. They're dear, sentimental. They almost feel like they're mine. You know, little boy watching this stuff, feeling like I'm the only one. It's mine. Man, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. And then the new movies come out, and man, they've pleased me with a lot of the stuff that they've done in some of these new movies. Kong and Godzilla and the different ones, and the creature feature or the monster mash that they did with Kong and Godzilla. I'm happy to see them do good stuff. It doesn't erase the old stuff, and I don't hate the new stuff just because of the old stuff. but a boys 2D magazine every Saturday. So neat stuff just throughout, from front to back. It's a great retrospective trip down memory lane. Some of these pictures I've seen, a lot of them I have not, but really glad to have it. And then there's our end papers. Just excellent stuff there. So this is a great book, a great thing to have, great thing to add to the collection. I hope if you want one that you're able to get one at a good price. I couldn't even begin to guess how this thing would sell on the secondary market, or if you'll even ever find it on the secondary market. 100 copies, and it's probably the kind of book that the people that would buy it bought it to keep it, not necessarily one that you would buy to flip. And I don't have a problem with that either. But when it comes to people buying stuff to flip, at the very least, that makes it easy to find them if you missed out in the beginning. And a lot of us missed out on stuff in the beginning, either because we weren't paying attention when stuff was made available, or we weren't collecting when that stuff was available. We didn't know about the publisher. We didn't get their newsletter or any of that kind of stuff. So finding stuff on the secondary market to me is a must to be able to add books in my collection. If it wasn't for eBay, a lot of the books that I care most about in my collection I wouldn't have, because I wasn't shopping when they were available for a variety of reasons. But that being said, let me take a look here, show you what they look like side by side. There's a beautiful slipcase and a beautiful book. And am I pleased? Did you even ask that question? Absolutely, I am pleased. Tickled to death. PS Publishing has satisfied. They have satisfied my need and my desires. The book meets and exceeds expectations. I'm glad to have it on the shelf, and I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. C'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo. Wait a second. I always say those stupid things there at the end, and I always forget to say the things that they tell me I'm supposed to say. They always say I'm supposed to say. Please subscribe to the channel. Like a beg you, please subscribe to the channel. One thing I do know for sure is when you subscribe to the channel, the subscriber count goes up. So when you subscribe, it goes from 800 and whatever it is to 800 and whatever it is with another one on top. That I can promise you is the truth. Now, when you unsubscribe, it goes down. I've learned that over the years. So it's better when you subscribe. And when you subscribe, and all of you subscribe, and then people who've never seen me before and wouldn't even like me, when they subscribe. That's what I know. Thanks. Thanks a lot.